And what motivated us to renovate was I moved in.
Okay.
And it suddenly wasn't big enough for us.
Yeah.
And particularly the main bedroom wasn't big enough. So the main bedroom in this house is at the front of the house, facing south and facing the road. And the bedroom we wanted to be in was facing northwest into the sun and facing the backyard, but it was just a normal size bedroom. It had a tiny wee wardrobe, and it really wasn't big enough for a main bedroom. I'd heard of Smartway, and what attracted me was I had had experience with friends of mine who had decided to renovate, got an architect on board, told them roughly how much it was they were wanting to spend, and the architect went mad. Or, particularly one of them had two options, and one of the options was he hadn't listened to what she wanted at all. And she was spending all this money on the architect doing stuff that she didn't want. And so they were already really invested in the whole thing before they really knew how much it was going to cost, and it was all going to cost a lot more than what they thought. Right. And so I was attracted to Smartway because we knew very early on how much what we wanted to do was going to cost us, even before we had architects on board. So Smartway gives it's an indication, a rough plan, like not an architect's plan, but a rough plan. And, very early on how much you're looking at. Good with, like some of the key things that we really love about the space now are people you put us onto. So, for instance, the bathroom people. And in terms of details, as it went on, like and decisions we had to make, I sort of felt that everything, I don't know if this is what you meant by that question, but things flowed nicely as well. I was telling someone just the other day, actually, she was asking, I just met a friend, and she was saying, oh, did you have to wait? Were there long waits for anything? Or anything like that? And I said, no, the builders would be finished, say, for instance, the kitchen bits one day, and the plumber arrived to fit the kitchen plumbing the next. It was quite well organised from that point of view. Cool. And I think that's what having a project manager probably does.
Sticking to the schedule.
Yeah, the schedule. And the boys and the girl worked really hard to stick to that schedule as well. I would hear them. So we lived in during the process, as you know. And, you'd be in one room just doing whatever, and you'd hear Chris talking to both apprentices and saying, right, we need to have this done before then, and I'll be happy if it's done by this stage, but I don't want, it doesn't matter if it goes over a few days, but I don't want it to go any further than this because, they've got kitchen designers coming on whatever day. And they worked really, there was a time that it was getting close to one particular deadline, and they were here until 6:30 at night, just finishing off something. So if something needed to be finished off, they would work extra hours. Cool. We lived in the house the whole time, and it was still easy. I was still baking cakes, and that oven was there right throughout. Chris worked really hard to have that oven there, and the sink was there right throughout. In the kitchen, which is, can be a real nightmare doing up a kitchen, completely gutting a kitchen. But we moved the kitchen into another room, but the sink and the stove were there the whole time. And we were cooking normal meals and baking as normal right through the whole process. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be in terms of dust and mess and stuff like that. The guys did a really good job of when the roof was off, of the tarpaulin tarpaulin. Like I think you told us at the beginning that we might want to move out during that period because there'd be lots of flapping and lots of dust, and that was nowhere near as bad as we thought it would be. And I think it's because they did a really good job of covering it in. I've got a relative that had a similar sort of thing done to her house, and when it rained, they had rain all through the place. They had water dripping down through and stuff, and we didn't have a drip inside when the roof was off. So the build itself and the builders themselves, I think I've said to you before that I just can't imagine having a better builder. Chris and the team, actually, both of the apprentices as well, were incredibly amazing. Chris is an amazing builder. His attention to detail is second to none. His attention to detail was really good. And he would often ask James what he thought about a certain thing. And he sort of got a feel for how James liked things as well. And he said, look, James, I'm going to talk to you about this. I think I know what you're going to say, but I just want to double check. So he picked up on that quite well. The team were amazing. The build itself was incredible and flowed really well. And,
Great.
And his, something I was wanting to say too, his comms, his communication was excellent.
Yeah,
we always knew where things were at. And like I said before, he would always consult with James if it was something that needed to be asked. There was dust around the place, but nowhere near as bad as I thought. And quick too. Like it was pretty much almost exactly 3 months from when they started to when they finished. And it was a pretty big project. So I was amazed it was that quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hoped. Yeah, better than we imagined really, eh? Yeah.
Oh, I just love looking at it all actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like James just loves lying in bed in the mornings and looking at that room and looking at it. Yeah. And the walk-in wardrobe is really good. Having an ensuite. It's a 4-bedroom house. We only had one bathroom, and the toilet was inside the bathroom, so it was a no-brainer to put an ensuite on as well. And what I think my favourite part is the ensuite's really good, and this kitchen is so much more usable now than it was. As you can see, we used to have a wall there, and so if someone was in the kitchen, they were abandoned. And now if someone's in the kitchen, everyone else, when you have people around, can sit at those chairs or even at the table,
just works
and still chat.
Nice.
You feel as if you're part of things happening now in the kitchen.
So it feels like, again, that I guess Smartway being involved in that design process, you feel like you will listen to, obviously, what you're talking about here is the builders have done a great job craft wise. The layout of the plans and everything obviously worked well. And support you guys well.
There was a few iterations on getting that final layout sorted. And you guys were very accommodating. It wasn't not again.
And definitely took on our ideas too, in terms of, hey, what about if we did this? Oh, let's just push out another 200. And you guys were good with that. Yes, that's a good idea. Let's run the numbers on it.
Cool.
So I definitely recommend Smartway as opposed to just, going and getting a random builder from somewhere. It was really good. I'm really pleased we used them. I'll use you guys, and I wouldn't go to anyone else.
Very satisfied.
Yeah, very satisfied, very happy.